Hello there, and thank you so much for clicking on my review of the 2022 Nissan Frontier King Cab with the Pro 4X off-road package, which gives you a rear locking differential, Bilstein off-road shocks, and full underbody skid plates. The 2022 Nissan Frontier has been fully overhauled both inside and out for the 2022 model year. The last generation of the Frontier was basically the same truck for nearly 20 years. Given the time between Frontier generations, Nissan has definitely made some improvements for sure. While the steel ladder frame is the same as the last generation, the new Frontier is 5 inches longer, however the wheelbase remains the same. Nissan claims that new dampers were added to the chassis to improve ride handling, and structural changes were made to the cab to reduce road and wind noise. Nissan has definitely taken a notch when they built the new Frontier. For one, a 310 horsepower naturally aspirated 3.8 liter V6 is now standard, so even if you buy a base model Frontier, you can still tow up to 6,500 pounds. As for payload, the Frontier is rated for up to 1,600 pounds. This V6 engine is made to a 9-speed automatic transmission. I found that it was incredibly fuel efficient, which is a big plus with gas prices being so expensive as of late. Unfortunately for this generation of the Frontier, you will no longer be able to buy it with a manual transmission. Back inside, the 2022 Frontier interior has definitely made some big strides forward when compared to its predecessor. The panels have orange stitching in them, and while the doors panels are hard plastic, dashes and touch-heavy areas employ soft-touch materials. The Nissan's Frontier's nicest interior feature is its 9-inch touchscreen, which has to be one of the nicest, brightest, and most colorful screens I've ever seen on a pickup truck. But before I continue, I just want to give a big shout out to our two partners who help make today's content possible. The first being Tripod Photo, Video, and Drone on Vancouver Island, who help us film and make these videos, as well as Long Beach Golf Course and Campsite in Tofino, British Columbia. Big shout out to Corey and the team there for running an awesome campsite. If you're in Tofino looking for a safe, clean campsite with fully working showers and bathrooms, you gotta pay them a visit. They're way cheaper than a hotel, and they're literally 100 feet away from Long Beach if you want to walk the beach or surf. You can even hear the ocean waves crash on the beach at night, so by camping there, you really get a full West Coast experience. A link to both partners will be a pinned comment below. So let's get back to the review. When it comes to the exterior, I absolutely love what Nissan engineers did. The front end is pronounced, and a large grille and chiseled hood look for the part for a pickup. On the Pro 4X and higher trims, the headlamps, fog lights, and running lights will all be fully LED, and you will get red tow hooks in the front, which are super cool. The Frontier is a mid-sized pickup that competes with the Toyota Tacoma, Chevrolet Colorado, and Ford Ranger. Unlike a full-size pickup like a Ford F-150 or Ram 1500, which are both massive vehicles, mid-sized compacts have a smaller footprint, meaning they're easier to drive and navigate in cities, and they're often more fuel-efficient than full-size pickups. If you don't need 10,000 plus pounds of towing capacity or you live in a city, I definitely think that mid-sized pickups have their place. In the rear, the King Cab, like my review model, had a 6-foot 1-inch bedline bed. If you go for the Crew Cab, which is the 4-door variant, you'll get a 5-foot bed. Payload capacity is rated for just under 1,600 pounds. The tailgate is power assisted, which is always a great feature, and the bed has both LED lighting and a cargo tie-down ring. A 400-watt power outlet is also available in the cab if you need mobile power. The 2022 Frontier is available in both the Crew and King Cab. Nissan sent me the King Cab 3, which has half butterfly doors behind the driver and passenger, whereas the Crew Cab is a 4-door truck that seats up to 5. Now here's where I think the Frontier is lacking. With the King Cab, there's absolutely no room behind the driver and passenger seats. The King Cab seats 4 on paper, but that's total BS. The 2 rear seats are barely jump seats, and you would literally slam your knees against the seat in front of you if you're older than a 10-year-old. I understand this is a King Cab and not a Crew Cab, but if I can't use the rear seats, then that's a problem for me. Even with the seats up in the back, there's not a ton of room. I would have liked if Nissan could have made the rear space fully flat at the least. The good thing is that the Frontier does have removable plastic storage containers, which are very helpful, and I use them during my camping trip to Tofino. Now the good news is that up front, the Frontier is just absolutely awesome seating that is so comfortable and supportive. Nissan has always been a proponent of their zero-G seats, and in my opinion, they've always been some of my favorites. I think Nissan seats are some of the best in the business, right up there with luxury brands like Volvo and Mercedes. I know that the previous generation of the Frontier definitely felt a bit tight inside it, but the leg and headroom in the new Frontier are both excellent, so you won't feel crammed inside the cab. When it came to build quality, I felt that Nissan really brought a lot to the table considering this is a pickup truck. To start, the leather-wrapped steering wheel felt really nice to touch, and the thick grips were great for off-roading on top of a really nice upscale finish. Even the buttons on the steering wheels felt tight and well put together. Buttons through the cabin, including volume or temperature control knobs, felt good quality and nothing felt cheap. Overall, just the whole interior of the Frontier was quite good and it felt tight and well machined. This wasn't like you touched the panel and it wobbled. Very good work from Nissan here. When it comes to space for storage, the Frontier has a standard central console area and a small area up front for phones and other items. Automatic climate control comes standard and the seats are heated. My review model also supported wireless charging. Another very nice feature is a 400-watt power outlet in the rear, which will allow you to power camping and electronic devices when on the road. The infotainment system is provided by an awesome 9-inch touchscreen that is probably the best I've seen besides a luxury vehicle. The screen is bright, vivid, and so nice to look at when on the road. Kind of a small detail, but something I really appreciated from Nissan. The infotainment system provides media, phone, and navigation on top of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Sound is also excellent despite the system being stock. It's the little details like this that really make the Frontier an excellent vehicle all around. Last but definitely not least is a 360 camera that's super helpful when navigating tight spots in the city or even off-road where you might need to see rocks or other objects in the path in front of you when in 4x4 mode. So let's hit the road in the dirt to see how the Frontier does. Spoiler alert, this mid-size pickup absolutely slaps. Let's begin with off-road performance since this is a truck. Well, to start off with, if you go with the Pro 4X off-road package, you'll get off-road skid plates that protect the front end and gas tanks, off-road Bilstein shocks, and super cool red tow hooks just in case you get stuck and you need someone to winch or pull you out. If you're going to do some crazy off-roading, the Frontier is as good as it gets. As expected, you get 4 high and 4 lockers as well. It also has a rear locking differential that gives you extra traction if you're operating slippery or tough terrain. The rear axle can be completely locked, which reduces slippage. I took the Frontier off-road and had to get up some pretty steep and rutty dirt paths to get to my final destination that took me right alongside a local river. The Frontier did as good a job as any other pickup. When I threw it in 4x4, I was confident that we were not getting stuck. I will admit the Pro 4X suspension is pretty stiff. I don't mind it, but some people may find it a bit too much for them. That said, it got me to a remote riverbed on Vancouver Island with no trouble. This was definitely a place that you need some solid off-road performance to get to, and the Frontier was awesome. Back on the pavement, the Frontier is like the Giga Chad of pickup trucks. For those who don't know what that means, I'd refer you to TikTok or Reddit or your nearest millennial. No, I'm just kidding. This truck is awesome, and like a Giga Chad, it is at the top of the heap and a stellar performer. You don't generally associate pickup trucks with good on-road handling. Good handling and off-road performance are generally understood to be mutually exclusive 9 times out of 10. For example, on the converse, you would never take a sports car off-road. Well, the Frontier knocks it out of the park on the road. When going around the corners, this truck just rails. There's absolutely no body roll. It's insane. Trucks have a higher center of gravity for better off-road clearance, but this thing feels like it's on rails. When you take a corner, the handling is so flat that this thing feels like a Honda Civic. It's that impressive. On top, the steering is super crisp and responsive, and there's loads of road feel, which made driving a lot more satisfying because you could feel the subtle turns and indents on the road ahead. Adding to that, the cabin is so quiet, and while the ride is firm, it's still smooth. Again, you expect lots of road and cabin noise from pickup, but this thing is whisper quiet. At highway speeds, you only hear a small amount of whooshing, even when the radio is off. Last but not least is power and fuel efficiency. When you press on the gas, you should be looking at 0 to 60 time around just under 8 seconds, which is adequate for a truck. You'll have no problems passing the left or getting up steep hills like I had to when driving to Port Alberni. This truck is also quite good on fuel for a V6 engine that can tow nearly 7,000 pounds. I got around 22 miles per gallon, which is not bad at all, so if you're looking for a fuel-efficient truck, the Frontier may be for you. So to wrap up, I can only say positive things about this truck. It's as close to perfect in my opinion as you can get for a pickup. I know a lot of people will compare the Frontier against the Tacoma, and having driven and reviewed both, I'll say it straight up. Buy this instead of the Toyota Tacoma. I'm going to get a lot of haters and Toyota fanboys flame me in the comments, but I gotta keep it real. You're going to get a better interior, better fuel economy, better price, and slightly better handling and road performance. Sure, you can buy a Tacoma and pay significantly more for the name, or you can be the Sigma male and buy this truck. So at the end of the day, Nissan knocked it out of the park with the new Frontier, and I can confidently say that the 15-year wait for the new generation, the Frontier, was so worth it. Thanks again for watching. If you agree with me or you own a Frontier, hit me up in the comments below, or flame me and tell me how wrong I am. Either way, looking forward to it. Thanks again so much for watching.